The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation, the exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock in the last limited shipment of 2014. The most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Vitamin B12 deficiency is linked to scores of serious problems. And Secret 12 is a fusion of 2 organic, proprietary forms of vitamin B12, bringing you a true nutraceutical quality vitamin B12. Secret 12. Secret 12 is an excellent Christmas gift and is tailor-made to boost your New Year's resolutions. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put 2 and 2 together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds. Is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled I-N-F-I-D-E-L, bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
2015 is almost here, and with it comes those New Year's resolutions to finally transform your body the way you want it. There's a reason over 88% of New Year's resolutions fail. Make this year different by equipping yourself with Oxy Powder, the next level in cleansing the body naturally. Using super oxygenation, Oxy Powder, available through InfoWarsLife.com, gently cleanses the body while you sleep with easy capsules. Tens of thousands of individuals have used Oxy Powder to cleanse their bodies and aid in their transformations. Even InfoWars Nightly News Director Rob Dew has been using Oxy Powder with incredible success.
Took it that first day, then I took it for 6 more days after that. 12 pounds melted off in about a week. I'd say a week, 7 days.
2015 can be different. Diet and exercise are important, but a lot of us have already tried that. Oxy Powder flushes it out. Secure your Oxy Powder at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139.
We want your soul. We want your soul. We want your soul.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
Tell us your habits, your facts, your fears. Give us your address, your shoe size.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight on this Wednesday, December 17th, 2014. I'm going to be your host today. Alex Jones will be joining us in the second hour. We're also going to be joined in the third hour by Washington State Representative Matt Shea. He was on the nightly news last night. He was interviewed there. And by the way, we have a year-end special for Prison Planet TV membership. It's normally $54.95. Now you can get it for just $29.95 a year. That's 7 months for free, or only $2.50 a month, $2.50. You can share that with 20 other friends. That's only about 12 cents per person per month, if you look at it that way. Now, what do you get there? You get the news every Monday through Friday at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. You also have access to all of Alex Jones's documentaries, a great way to put this in perspective for your friends and family. And that's really the task before us at this point. We need, if we're going to have effective change, we need a much broader base of people who are really aware as to what's going on. Right now, as we just saw, they're pulling the wool over our eyes. We've got Obama issuing executive orders, calling them memoranda, essentially going against the will of Congress, saying, I'm not getting what I want from you guys, so I'm just going to go around it. And, of course, playing games with it, saying that, Well, he's not issuing any more than other presidents have. When other presidents' memoranda about vacation holidays count as a memoranda, he is going around and offering open borders, massive amnesty, access to the welfare state for tens of millions of people. It's an entitlement program for people that aren't even citizens in America. It's a Cloward and Piven strategy, and he is joined in that by John Boehner and Republican leadership. But where we're going to really see the economy collapse is a replay of 2008, a replay of 1929. We talked about that in the last segment. Of course, the key player, one of the key players there is Citigroup. And Elizabeth Warren called them out on the floor of the Senate, trying to convince Republicans and Democrats to stand by their rhetoric and say they're not for bailouts. We know they're for bailouts. They voted for bailouts. We know that they don't want to stop amnesty. They voted to fund amnesty. We know they don't want to stop Obamacare. They voted to fund Obamacare. Can we get over this? I mean, I saw something on the Drudge Report the other day. Mark Levin said, I'm this close from leaving the Republican Party. What does it take? How many times do they have to lie to you before you leave? I left them decades ago, miles behind. I figured out that game a long time ago. Haven't you? GOP people, haven't you Democrats now seen the bankers get everything they want from the Democrats? You can't wake up about that. You can't wake up about the torture, about the endless wars, about the surveillance state. Look at this from Citigroup. This is back in 2011 from Infowars.com. Headline, Citigroup ordered to pay $285 million in derivatives fraud complaint. They say that they sold a portfolio with risky mortgage-related investments to unsuspecting customers and then bet against it. They bet against the thing they were selling their customers. So they paid $285 million, but they had sold a $1 billion portfolio of mortgage-related investments. See, crime pays. Crime pays in Washington, and it's paying off again. Now, what do we see in the immediate aftermath of the bipartisan support for putting the bankers back on taxpayer insurance again? Only 6 years after they did this to us. That's how stupid we are. They say the banks are loosening lending standards. This is a report from the LA Times. They said the largest U.S. banks have lowered their standards for some of the riskiest lending, and a sign that weak underwriting is returning to levels seen before the 2008 financial crisis, according to a regulator's report. Well, why not? They've got nothing to lose but your money. They're not going to lose their money. The profits they'll keep, but they'll lose your money. They say the banks have continued to erode standards, especially with large corporate loans, consumer loans, and leveraged lending. Risky financing used to fund corporate takeovers and a lot of other things, too. They bet everything in the world on these leveraged buyouts. Now, they have a quote from Jennifer Kelly, the chief national bank examiner with some bureaucracy called the Office of Comptroller of the Currency. She said the trends are, quote, very similar to those from 2004 to 2006. And they said in their report that they think the credit risk will continue to increase in 2015. Yeah, no doubt. Remember when Ronald Reagan said, if you want more of something, you subsidize it? What are they subsidizing? They're subsidizing the bankers taking inordinate risk. So, of course, you're going to get more of that. Now, what did Elizabeth Warren say on the floor of the Senate? We played that quote where she said she talked to Democrats, she talked to Republicans. Now she's going to talk directly to Citibank and talk about Citibank. She pointed out the vast influence that they have at Citibank. And, of course, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, the usual suspects, these guys essentially fill most of the financial-related positions in Washington. She said 3 of the last 4 Treasury secretaries under Democrat presidents have had close Citigroup ties. The 4th was offered the CEO position at Citicorp, but turned it down. She points out the vice chair of the Federal Reserve System is an alumnus of Citigroup. She says the Undersecretary for International Affairs is a Citigroup alumni. The U.S. Trade Representative and the person nominated to be his deputy, who's currently an Assistant Secretary of Treasury, they're Citigroup alumni. What is the U.S. Trade Representative doing right now? He is fast-tracking the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the Transatlantic Partnership. These are massive sovereignty-attacking trade agreements that go after our financial, go after the internet, go after privacy, go after control of the internet, many different issues beyond free trade, beyond finances. But these are being negotiated in secret in secret as part of this fast-track trade negotiation. Our elected representatives are not allowed to see what these banker lobbyists are doing along with our trade representatives from the U.S. government. We're not allowed to know what's going on with that. We'll have to let them pass it until we can see what they're going to do to us. But we've had some leaks from WikiLeaks and others. And, of course, this is something that we know that they're going to give themselves power elevated to the level of sovereign states. They will have a tribunal kind of trial if they think that regulation or something is costing them too much money. They will have the same level, only multinational corporations. This is not your mom and pop business down the street that decides to organize for tax purposes as a subchapter S corporation or as a C corporation. No, these are the multinational corporations, not even the big corporations that are entirely subsumed within one country. No, these are the multinational corporations that will be given these special government-like powers. She points out that Wall Streeters on Wall Street and Wall Streeters who had powerful government jobs teamed up and blocked the move to break up the banks. And she said now Citibank is bigger than ever. And she pointed out that New York Magazine quoted an official from the Treasury, and she said, I'm quoting this, if we'd been for it, talking about the Treasury, it probably would have happened, but we weren't, so it didn't. She said that's the kind of power that they have there. That's a very scary thing. She said, you should have been broken into pieces. She said, I agree that Dodd-Frank isn't perfect. If it was, you would have been broken into pieces. Now, that's where I disagree. I don't want to nitpick what she had to say. I think she did a very great impassioned speech pointing out the corruption in Washington, pointing out the crony capitalism. We have an article up on Infowars.com that talks about what Elizabeth Warren missed in her big bank tirade. I don't think we need to throw rocks at Elizabeth Warren. I just disagree with the fact that it can be fixed by breaking up Citibank. The problem is not the consolidation. That is a symptom of the problem. The root problem is that there's too much power and money that's been consolidated into Washington. So it's the consolidation in the government that creates this kind of consolidation. As a matter of fact, it was under Bill Clinton that the massive consolidations of banks began. When they approved the Nation Bank and Bank of America merger, that was the largest merger anybody had ever seen. At the time, nobody really believed the government was going to approve it because they underestimated the influence of the big banks in the White House, in the Clinton White House. And of course, Hillary Clinton is joined at the hip with Goldman Sachs. But they approved that merger. That set a precedent that allowed these banks to become, quote, too big to fail and too big to jail. It all started in the Clinton White House. And it was in the Clinton regime that they took out Glass-Steagall, which was set up to separate the risky ventures into margin calls, into options that had fueled the speculative bubble that burst in the Great Depression. They had set that apart and said, we're going to enact certain restrictions on banks because we're going to give them certain protections like FDIC insurance. Along with that FDIC insurance, they were going to have certain regulatory restrictions as to what they could do. That was removed under Bill Clinton. The consolidation of the banks happened under the Clintons. So yes, you can break up the banks, and that was something that that foreshadowed all of this, but it was only a symptom of the fact that they can get whatever they want in Washington when Washington has access to so much power and can print money at will. That's the real problem. It's just like campaign finance reform. If you go in and try to artificially influence elections by putting all kinds of rules, nobody's going to get hurt by that, but certain people who are small individuals, people who are outside of the political insiders, people like Dinesh D'Souza will go to jail. But the big guys are going to continue to bundle the contributions. The problem is that everybody is going to Washington. It's a magnet for corruption to have that much power consolidated. That's why the founders of this country talk so much about consolidation, about division of power. That's why they put it in the Constitution that we now ignore, to divulge power away from a center. They knew that power would want to become centralized and that it would breed this kind of corruption. So you can't have crony capitalism if you don't have the cronies in Washington. And to make it clear that it's Citibank writing the legislation, we've put up on Infowars.com this legislation that was put out, and you can see the Citibank draft from the lobbyist side by